Bingo! That's Canyon Falls at Waterfall Glen. And it's a geocache, so you try to find stuff when people kind of map it out. And it's not on the website, but they want to keep this kind of pristine. So I'm kind of giving it away. But what I wanted to do was talk about New Year's resolution, since it's almost New Year's Eve. And there's a couple things I would like you to consider. And we'll take them alphabetically. If you're going to do a New Year's resolution, I'd suggest you get a partner. Because there's always going to be times when nobody else is doing the same thing as you. And when you fall back to your partner, you'll have moral support. That's the biggest problem, is sometimes when you get really tired or you're hungry and when you're stressed out, if you have somebody to support you, they'll keep you on target, on task. So find somebody, maybe a group of people. Important. Next would be planning. You really should consider a 3-week, my suggestion is a 3-week intervention. And it's an attempt, because usually with meditation, we find if you do the same thing for 3 weeks straight, it gets to be an engram. It's like a burned pathway in the brain, and it makes it sustainable. So 3 weeks. Then after that, you still plan what your next step will be after. Some people like to fast. I think reduction of calories, any way you want it, is helpful. Keto, vegetarian, paleo, modified paleo, fasting mimicking. As long as you have a plan, important. If you don't have a plan, have somebody put one together. Next would be prep. You have to really start prepping your food. Because if you wait till the last minute when you're hungry, it's the hardest time to not buy the wrong things. When you're hungry, your brain tends to make you decide on the worst options, because it's trying to take care of starvation. So prep every Sunday for the next 6 days. That way it's easy, effortless. You can put a crock pot together for evening. You can get your kids involved. They can help decide what they're going to put together. Your lunches can be taken care of, your breakfasts. So prep time, important. Plan it out, get a calendar, and then partner can help you too. Praying. Now, you don't have to pray, but I think it's easiest to say pray, because when you think of prayer, you think of solemn, you think of silence. I think it's important to have some form of mindful practice, especially when you're entering stress time, April. But let's not even talk that far as your New Year's resolution. Just getting past the 3 weeks would be important. So meditation twice a day, mindful practice twice a day, 10 minutes, perfect. I'll put the links down below to suggestions. And then payback. I think it's important to, that actually should be in the beginning, but payback, so you keep yourself accountable to the exercise. You have to exercise no matter what. If you don't know what to do, hire a coach. If you're injured, get a physical therapist. But you still have to do something. I have a guy that was involved in a motor vehicle accident and essentially can't walk, but we're still putting something together as far as upper body workout. You can still do core, so somebody has to design that for you, especially if there's pain. You don't want to induce more pain. So the payback is usually going to be on a Saturday or Sunday morning if you can afford the time. So if you use these parameters to get you focused on an endpoint, you'll have a higher success rate. That way you don't have the average American 2 to 5 pound weight gain for winter time. Instead, you can knock it out of the park as far as losing weight successfully, and then maybe springboarding to the next step afterward. So if you can, at the 3 week mark, moving into February, take advantage of 5 pounds off or a couple pounds of weight loss. Perfect. And this is the trail. Kind of a small trail, but interesting. It's, again, it's not really published. However, I like finding new things, keeps me interested. If I do the same thing, if you do the same thing all the time, it can tend to be very stagnant, very boring. The best patient I had that was able to continue paleo type routine made it for about 3 years. I'm currently a vegan. We'll see what happens. I'm waiting for my 3 and my 6 month blood test results to see if it's something that's going to be sustainable for me. But again, I think we all get stagnant, and just to keep it interesting, it's important to come up with change. But what we have to do is keep on chipping away, so the end result is always going to be being healthier than before. We have to make it to our later stages of life with as little disease as possible, and hopefully as little suffering, with efforts to contribute to the next generation. So thanks for watching. Subscribe down below, and I'll see you at the next tutorial.